Did you know that a single unstable step could be the line between living freely and spending months in the hospital? After the age of 60, a fall is no longer just a bruise, it can be the beginning of serious problems: broken bones, reduced mobility, and even the loss of independent living. But the good news is, there are simple walking tips recommended by science and experts that can help you or your elderly loved ones stay steady and safe with every step. In today's video, we'll share 6 effective walking techniques to help seniors prevent falls, improve balance, and maintain confidence while moving. Hit subscribe so you don't miss important health information, and watch until the end, because tip number 6 might be something you've never considered, but it could be the key to protecting your independence. Did you know that the way your foot touches the ground can be the difference between walking with confidence and losing your balance and falling? At age 70, 80, or beyond, we often hear advice like slow down or walk more carefully. But no one really explains what carefully means. And many seniors unintentionally develop incorrect walking habits, such as shuffling, landing with the middle of the foot, or even walking on the balls of their feet. Sounds harmless, right? But that's exactly where many balance problems begin. Landing on the heel is a natural biological principle our bodies were designed to follow. Imagine walking across a small wooden bridge over a river. You'd feel safer if each step was a smooth, controlled movement. Heel strikes first, weight rolls gently through the arch and pushes off with the toes. It's a continuous, flowing motion, a smooth foot roll, like a spinning wheel rather than a jarring stomp. And that rolling motion is key to maintaining balance. So why do we lose this motion over time? The answer lies in aging and psychological responses. When the body begins to feel pain in the knees, hips, or ankles, we become hesitant. We shorten our stride, land the whole foot flat, or even shift weight to the toes to avoid heel impact. On top of that, a hidden fear of falling causes us to keep our feet close to the ground, resulting in heavy, stiff, and uncontrolled steps. A 79-year-old woman named Marjorie, living in California, once shared that she couldn't understand why she tripped in her own kitchen, even though she was walking slowly and carefully. After being assessed by a physical therapist, it was discovered that she had developed the habit of stepping with the middle of her foot and had stopped rolling through her steps properly. Her toes started dragging slightly on the floor, and a tiny edge of the rug was enough to cause a fall. Interestingly, after just a few weeks of practicing heel-first walking and doing some simple ankle mobility exercises, Marjorie felt much more stable. She said, "I never thought something so small could change how safe I feel." There's solid science behind this. Heel-first walking allows your body to absorb and distribute force evenly. When your heel lands first, it activates the muscle chain from the calves to the thighs, helping stabilize your hips and align your spine. This motion also maintains momentum smoothly, reducing sudden stops that often lead to loss of balance. Try a simple exercise. Walk slowly down your hallway, focusing on placing your heel on the floor first. Then roll through the arch and push off with your big toe. If this feels difficult, it's a sign that your ankles or thigh muscles are losing flexibility, something that can be improved with daily simple exercises. A helpful tip from many experts is to imagine you are gliding rather than stomping when walking. Your stride should be just right, not too long to lose control, and not too short to require too many steps in a short distance. Maintain a steady, comfortable rhythm, because rhythm is the most loyal companion of balance. If you're using a cane or walker, this becomes even more important. Make sure you're not using the cane to pull your body forward by stepping on your toes. Instead, place the cane lightly in front of you, then step toward it with your heel first. This technique helps maintain forward momentum and reduces stress on your joints. And don't forget your shoes. Shoes that are too soft, too slippery, or that don't support your heel well can negatively affect your gait. Invest in shoes with stable heels, non-slip soles, and flexible yet supportive soles that allow proper rolling motion from heel to toe. I'm not saying this will change everything overnight, but step by step, you'll notice a difference. You'll start to feel like you're walking with intention, rather than just dragging yourself along. And that, the confidence in every step, is something we all deserve as we grow older. If you're still watching and found this helpful, comment the number 3 below so I know you're listening. And if you know someone, a parent, an aunt or uncle, or even yourself, who could benefit from this, don't hesitate to share this video with them. We're not just learning to live longer, we're learning to live steady, confident, and safe with every step. Stay tuned because next we'll explore something surprisingly important that most people overlook: the role of breathing rhythm in walking. A factor that may seem unrelated but can make a huge difference in maintaining balance and easing tension in your nervous system. You won't want to miss it. Imagine you're walking through your familiar home, from the living room to the kitchen. You've walked that path thousands of times. But this time, the moment you step from the rug onto the cold tile floor, your knee buckles slightly, your center of gravity shifts, and you nearly fall. There's no obvious obstacle. No loose cords or items in the way. Just a small change in the flooring. And that's something most older adults don't realize until it's too late. The truth is, falls don't always come from something you can see. They often come from changes you can't react to quickly enough. Spatial awareness, the sense that tells you where your feet are, what surface you're about to step on, and what's happening underneath you, is part of a balancing ability called proprioception. When you're young, your brain reacts to these changes almost instantly. But after age 70, the speed at which signals from your eyes, inner ear, and feet reach your brain starts to slow down. It's not about intelligence, it's about reaction time. A delay of just a few milliseconds can have major consequences. Take the example of Bill, 80, who lives in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He's meticulous. He wears grippy slippers around the house, keeps cords out of the way, and his home is always clean. Yet one day, he slipped while stepping from a wooden floor onto a thin rug in the hallway. It wasn't because the floor was slippery. It was because his brain didn't send the signal fast enough to adjust his step. He recalls, "I felt like I missed the step, even though the rug was barely 2 centimeters thick." Thankfully, it was just a mild sprain, but from that moment on, he completely changed the way he moved through his home. We often think that preventing falls is all about muscle strength. But in many cases, it starts with awareness. And that's something you can train. Here are a few simple tips to help retrain your body's ability to respond to surface changes. Consciously walk across different surfaces at home. For example, go from wood to tile, or from carpet to smooth floor. Each time you do, focus on the feeling beneath your feet, the temperature, firmness, traction, and mentally note it. This helps reawaken the sensory nerves in your feet and improves your reflexes. Stand still with each foot on a different surface, like one on tile, the other on carpet. Close your eyes for a few seconds, with someone nearby or close to a counter for safety, and feel the difference. This exercise reteaches your nervous system to recognize transitions. Practice slow walking in low light. When walking into a dim hallway or bedroom at night, get used to stepping without full visual support. This helps train coordination between your eyes, inner ear, and feet. Of course, always have night lights close to the floor for safety. Use colored tape or reflective markers where surface changes occur, like rug edges, thresholds, or floor transitions. These visual cues help your brain prepare for the next step. And there's one more crucial thing that often goes unnoticed: your indoor footwear. If you wear slippers or shoes with soles that are too soft, your feet can't feel the floor well, reducing your natural reflexes. On the other hand, shoes that are too stiff or high can prevent proper foot ground feedback. The best choice is a lightweight, snug-fitting athletic shoe with a low, non-slip sole that lets your foot sense movement properly. Remember this: every step you take is a signal sent from your body to your brain. The clearer and quicker those signals are, the more accidents you'll avoid. Accidents that might seem random, but are anything but. And perhaps the key point is this: your body knows how to stay balanced. It just needs to be reminded. As we age, we don't lose these abilities completely. They simply fade from lack of use. But through simple exercises, daily practice, and mindful attention, you can reawaken an entire support system your body spent decades building. Because balance isn't a gift of youth. It's a power that any age can reclaim if you know how. There is something strange that happens when you start observing the way you walk. Not with your eyes, but with mindfulness. The moment you bring your full attention back to your feet, you'll rediscover something almost forgotten: Every step is a reminder that you are still here, still moving, still choosing to move forward. Not everyone understands this, especially when they're young. But when you enter your 70s and beyond, every step becomes more than just a means of getting around. It becomes a measure of courage, resilience, and hope. That explains why something seemingly simple like stepping from carpet to tile can become dangerous, not because your body has lost its ability to balance, but because your mind has become used to living unconsciously. The slipperiness, the change in friction, or the glare from a shiny tile floor aren't just physical challenges. They are tests of awareness. The issue isn't the floor, it's when you step onto it while your mind is somewhere else. But you know what? Sometimes all it takes is a simple word, like carpet or tile, repeated in your head like a quiet reminder, and you've flipped a switch inside yourself. Not a muscular switch, a switch of mindfulness, of presence. A 78-year-old man named Alan once shared his story this way. He began the habit of whispering the word tile every time he stepped into the kitchen. It might sound strange, but one morning when the floor was damp, that word made him slow down just enough to avoid a fall, something a less mindful person might have paid for with several weeks in the hospital. There was no high-tech gadget involved in that story. Just awareness, habit, and intention. And that's something all of us can practice. Right now. With our own 2 feet. Perhaps the hardest part of growing older isn't the aches in your joints, or the decline in vision. It's the quiet doubt that begins to creep in, making you wonder, can I still do this? Is it safe to keep going? The fear of falling doesn't just make your heart race. It steals your confidence. It eats away at your spirit. And if you're not careful, it can keep you sitting still for so long that you forget you still have the ability to stand. But today, I want you to remember this. You still have the right to control your body. Whether you're 70, 80, or even 90 years old, you can rebuild confidence through small actions. Start by becoming aware of the surfaces under your feet. Observe how the light reflects off the tiles. Pause for a moment before a step. And most importantly, speak to yourself with compassion. Understand that caution is not weakness. It is wisdom. It's a sign of experience. Every careful step is a declaration that you're still fighting, not against aging, but to live fully within it. And then something magical happens. When you walk with awareness, you don't just maintain your balance better. You also feel stronger, freer, more independent. That feeling can't be bought with pills or devices. It only comes from within, from your decision not to let fear control you. You can be a role model for others. For those afraid to leave their homes, still shaken by a past fall. You can inspire simply by standing tall, walking slowly, but with confidence. And if someone asks how you do it, you can smile and say, I started with a single word in my mind and one steady step. So today, I invite you to try this. The next time you walk from one room to another, quietly tell yourself, tile, carpet, careful. Not because you are weak, but because you are wise. Not because you are scared, but because you choose to walk with strength. And if someday you see someone struggling to stay steady on a slippery floor, share Alan's story. Pass along a simple tip that might save them from a fall. Who knows, a small word from you might just change someone's whole day.